All right, everybody, thank you for the patience. We'll have Coach Smart start with a couple opening statements and we'll take questions.
I'm really proud of our team today. A resilient, tough, hard-fought SEC win. They are hard to come by, and I think that's a really good football team we displayed. I said that all week. When they don't turn the ball over, they're hard to beat. They did not turn the ball over. They got a physical back. They do a really good job defensively. So a lot of respect to those guys. I thought it was really hot today. Our guys and their guys struggled a little bit with the stamina part, but I was proud. Carson stood in there, made some really key throws, made some really good decisions with the ball, and I thought we used the backs well in terms of the amount of play those guys got. So, thanks.
First question.
Kirby, how have you felt like you guys have tackled this season?
It was horrible on that play, but you know that's a really good back. When you play really good backs, they're going to break tackles. I was more disappointed in the pursuit than I was the tackling. We did miss one tackle, but there were 7 other people that never got a chance to get a tackle because they were tired, couldn't get there, not hustling. I mean, in football, you got to defeat a block, make a tackle. We defeated a block and missed a tackle. So everybody makes a lot of big deal about the tackling, and you know, I went home from practice. I guess it was Wednesday or Thursday, and I was like, man, our tackling's bad. We didn't tackle good at Thursday practice. And I got home and I watched the Falcons and somebody, and I was like, man, the tackling is awful all over. I'm not saying the Falcons are in the NFL. It's just bad tackling, and we have bad tackling. So it's indicative of, you know, the culture of football, that people don't tackle, people don't hit, people don't practice like they used to, including us.
You guys got Trevor.
Had a huge game today. Talk to us just about what you saw from him on the field with those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was more than the touchdowns. Obviously, touchdowns are great, but that's not what it's about. It's about the hard yards. It's about the 3rd and 10 catch that he gets that makes it 4th and 1. It's about the 4th and 1 play that he gets it and makes 1. He's earned really hard yards. He is a great leader. He is a great kid. He's an explosive player. But I thought today he got winded. He got tired. I mean, he was tired in the game. He wasn't as explosive as he can be, but neither was their defense. Neither was, you know, the pursuit. I mean, both teams at times were just sloppy.
How much confidence did you have calling that 4th down, putting them out there and trying to convert?
Well, I thought about what would you rather have on defense. You know, would you rather have somebody punt it or go for it there? And you know, you feel like you could get a yard when you have to get a yard, and we had enough lead that we could afford to do that. You make that a 1-score game, it's a much tougher decision.
Kirby, what was your reaction on that Dominic Lovett touchdown? It looked like Bell was also trying to grab it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I actually had a bad view. I couldn't tell. I thought it was going at Dylan, but Carson said he was throwing it to Dom, and he was waiting on him to run the return route. And he was coming back on the return. It just took him a while to come out of it.
How do you evaluate how Drew did today, and how cool of a moment for Mike to have his son start an SEC game?
Yeah, Drew has worked really hard. Drew's a tremendous athlete. People don't give him enough credit for second-level blocks, getting downfield, effort. I mean, he is probably one of our highest effort players, because every play he's running downfield to go hit somebody. And I was really proud of him, and it was a great moment. You know, he was a ring bearer in my wedding, and just got a lot of respect for Drew, the way he works, and to see him grow up and just be the great man and person that he is. And I was happy for him to have success today.
Kirby, I know every week fast starts are obviously an emphasis, but how nice was it to see you guys score early, and how much did it just help you guys moving on in the game?
Yeah, I don't even know if we started fast. I mean, I guess we did. I guess you count that as starting fast, but I don't count it when we have a 3rd and 13 and give it up on the screen. That's not starting fast to me. We got to get off the field, get the field position battle, flip the field, and take it over, especially at home. I didn't think we did that, but it certainly was not. Certainly went last week.
How'd you feel about the execution of exactly that right before the 2-minute right there before the half?
Well, that was great. That was the momentum swing of the game. The decision to punt that and not go for it, or not kick the field goal, which was a tough decision for me. With 56-yarder, questionable range, they're going to get the ball and go right here and have momentum. If we don't make that field goal and they get momentum, you're questioning that decision. I had a lot of confidence that he could make it, but not enough that I couldn't say we're going to pin them inside 5 or 10. If we kick it in the end zone there, you know, we basically give up 16. We get 16 yards in field position, and those are hard decisions. So credit goes to Aaron and Dom and Brett Portion. I think and credit goes to the defense for stopping them, and then Carson and those guys capitalized. We won situational football, which was the 2 minutes before the half.
Kirby, Nick Saban said he texted you after the Alabama game to remind you the good teams that you guys had at Bama that had one loss and still had very good seasons. What did you make of that, and how do you think your team responded to come back from that loss today?
I mean, I love Nick. I reached out to him after our game. I initiated the contact and told him, I said, the sun's still gonna come up tomorrow, because that was the saying he always had before the game to make you realize that, you know, it's so big to us coaches, but it's a game. It's a game of football. The sun's gonna come up. And I told him Sunday morning, I said, the sun's still coming up. He said, you got a great team. They play really hard, and they should be proud of the way they played, and keep getting them better. I appreciate those comments.
And you say it's always hard to win the SEC. Vandy just beat Alabama. Just what's your reaction to that?
I think Vandy's got a great program and does a great job. I mean, there's a lot of other people that don't respect Vandy. I respect Clark Lee. I respect his team, his quarterback, what they've done. They beat Virginia Tech. I mean, somebody told me that 6 of 8 games were decided by 1 score or less in our league. Nothing shocks me about our league. So, Texas A&M, Missouri, welcome to the SEC. It's hard every week, and I got a feeling that it's not going to stop. It's a consistency in performance, and when you ride the wave of emotion, you get caught on the bottom of the wave sometimes. And we're just trying to do this. We're just trying to keep getting better and keep getting better.
London had a few big catches. How big was getting him back today?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, that was crazy to be where, I mean, I didn't know how long it was going to be, and then I got a call, he can play. And I'm like, what? Like, we thought it was going to be a couple weeks, and then he didn't even practice, I guess. I don't remember what day it was, Monday, Tuesday, I don't know, I forget what day he even got cleared, but I mean, he just goes out there, gets back to working, he's so solid, he's so reliable, and jumped right back in and did a good job.
Yes, Bob London today, what's an update on his status and inside linebackers do with Small obviously not out there?
Yep, Smiles injured. I thought the guy stepped up and did a great job. Jalen Walker had to play more of an inside linebacker role, which is what we anticipated going into the year. CJ's banged up. Raylan's pushing hard. We got to get other guys ready. Terrell, Chris Cole, Justin Williams, they all got to step up and play.
We saw a little bit of Chris. Just what have you seen from him through his freshman year?
He's a freshman, and we played with 2 last year. And it's tough. You have to play every down with a freshman, but he is a sponge. He has gotten so much better since he arrived. He has high upside. He's extremely long. He's extremely fast. He's a freshman. So, you know, you have to temper your expectations with a freshman because they haven't done it before. But he has proven to be a good special teams player, and he continues to get better.
After Auburn cut to 14-10, you had the I think it's 12 play, 75-yard drive for the 2 possession taking. How critical was that juncture?
Huge. I mean, we didn't have a good drive coming out, which is frustrating. It's like, okay, let's come out. We got the ball first. Let's go. And I think we were either 3 and out or something like that. It was quick. And then they score, and here we go. We're going to be in a battle. But that's what those games are. And I thought our offense responded. That was closer to the offense that we had last year, where it was like, when we get punched on defense, they respond. They had more 3rd down conversions. They had, you know, throws and catches. They were more efficient in the run game and could have even been more efficient in the run game. But that was what we need.
Coach, if you had to grade the team overall performance, like A, B, C, D, or whatever, what grade would you give them and why?
Yeah, I'm not a grader. I'm not going to do it until I watch the tape. I'm sorry, I can't fall into that trap. I want to watch the tape and evaluate it before I give a grade.
Kirby, how close was Jared to being able to go, and Christian Miller out after a knee injury there in the 4th quarter?
Yeah, I don't know Christian. I thought he was fine. I mean, he had ice on his knee, and he played a lot in the game. So I thought at the point that he was not in, we were already playing other people. So, you know, we'll see. Jared was not able to go. He's been dealing with a foot injury since last week, but he felt like he could go in and play. If he had to be the backup in the emergency center, he felt like he could do that. So we were going to use him as that if we needed to.
Coach, how helpful is it having a back like Frazier or Gibbons come in with fresh legs down in the 3rd and 4th quarter trying to run, get some?
Yeah, it's great, but I don't want to use him in the 3rd and 4th quarter. I want to use him as much as we can, but it's hard when you got, you know, you're trying to feed 3 guys there, and I got tremendous confidence in all three of those guys. And each one of them, sometimes you just gotta ride the hot hand with who's going, and each one of them's gonna continue to get better.
That fourth down stop that Jalen Walker had where a week ago, Alabama scores, going to the outside at Jalen. What does that show about him and this defense in a similar situation?
It wasn't Jalen Milroy, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to, and I don't mean that any slight to Peyton Thorne, but, and I don't know that it was the same play. I'm not saying that. It looked like they tried to run the same play, and Jalen was a little more under control, and he did what he was supposed to do last week, and he did what he was supposed to do today, but, you know, the guy last week outran the whole defense.
How do you feel like you guys are running the ball and knowing that you have two offensive line starters that you're missing?
Well, I think we can run it better, and I don't like using excuses. There's probably a lot of teams. I think Auburn's missing one. I don't know what the stat is in the SEC for guys missing offensive line starters, but most teams we played have had maybe one out. We had two out, and we're not like we used to be. Nobody is that I know of has 9, 10 great offensive linemen. So like we're thin, and it's going to become a recurring theme in my opinion across college football. You're thinner and thinner and thinner, and you got to be smart, maybe in how you practice. But I'm proud of the guys we have, and they're doing a great job. And we are running the ball decent, but we can run the ball better. I mean, we can run the ball better than we did today. I know.
Kirby, was there anything in practice this week that you saw from Carson, especially after he came off, not so great game against Alabama, that gave you confidence he was going to have a better performance against Auburn? Was there anything he was doing specifically?
No, I mean, he has a routine he does, he trusts that routine, and I don't disagree, but I also think he did play really well against Alabama at times, and he got a lot of confidence in that game, so it was not, you're looking at the whole picture of the game, but there were a lot of good things he did, and he did a lot of good things today, and nobody really understands what Carson does in our offense, and you can't appreciate it unless you know it, so I don't understand the scrutiny that he's under, just like me. He's the quarterback and I'm the head coach. We're going to be under immense scrutiny. But Carson Beck is a tough winner, competitor, and leader. And I'll go to war with the guy anytime.
You talk about not wanting to ride the wave emotionally each and every week. How proud are you just in the way that they were able to respond from that crazy one last week?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm going to be honest, because all people talked about all week was what? That. Right? I mean, that's all people talked about all week. I mean, it was all over every Twitter feed, all over every social media, everything. And I told y'all before we played them, I said, when we win or lose this game, there is a tough physical game after it. And there is. And guess what there is next week? Another one. Humility is a week away in our league at all times. And that's the consistency I want to have. We're not going to win all our games all the time. That's not going to happen. You know, I want our fan base to appreciate what we have and give their all and be unbelievable with crowd noise and make energy and just make home games, because we need it to be tough on other teams to play here. But it's not. It's not the same as it's been in the past. It's got to be energetic. It's got to be, already know it was hot today. It was hot today. It was hot on our players too. And our players pushed through it. So I'm really proud of this team because I thought it was a tough week and we answered the bell.
You mentioned the offense on that touchdown drive in the third quarter looking like the offense from last year. What do you need to see from that unit to maybe play with more of that consistency that you mentioned earlier?
I mean, just play with more consistency. I mean, we still have plays that are like a play where Arian's we're going to take a touchdown shot, and he thinks Carson's scrambling, so he breaks off the route, and we throw a long incompletion. Well, that's second 10. I mean, you cannot waste plays. You might throw incompletions, but you can't waste plays. You might not block a guy, but the back's going to make you miss. You can't waste plays. And I don't know. I can't say how many plays we wasted today. We were much more efficient. But we've got a quarterback, an offensive staff, and offensive players that can be efficient. And there's teams that they screw it up. I mean, jump off sides, can go the wrong way. We usually don't do those things. We're very efficient. We have to maintain that.
Kirby, when you have a week like this where there's so much talk about that last game, how do you help the players block that out? Can you prevent that?
I just keep telling them about Auburn, and say that this is a war. This is it's a rivalry game. It's hard. They're a 5-0 team. If they don't turn it over, they're 5-0. How would you feel and prepare for Auburn if they were 5-0? Because that's what they are in my mind. Because I can't promise you turnovers. Those are like random. So, our focus was on them all week. I think our guys wanted to get that taste out of their mouth and go play. That helped. We talked about earning the right to cut it loose. we really had not cut it loose in the game. And I thought, I don't know that we did today, but we were closer to it.
Coach, can you talk about Dan Jackson and his growth and
Yeah, he's an awesome kid, man. What a great story. I mean, this is one of the greatest stories in college football that nobody talks about. I mean, the guy, he didn't like walk on because we called him. He got in school here and said, hey, coach, I'd like to play football at Georgia. Like, we didn't recruit him. We recruited Lad McConkey. We recruited these walk-ons. This guy showed up at our doorstep and as a starter, competitor, blocking field goals, didn't have to come back this year. I mean, he's like, I don't know, coach, he came back because he loves this place. He loves Georgia. He don't do it for him. He don't do it for money. I mean, he's never asked for anything. I mean, he loves the place. I mean, there's somebody out there as a fan, and they say, well, you can do NIL. Somebody ought to say, Dan Jackson, I'm gonna take care of you the rest of your life, because I promise you, he'll be the best employee, the best worker, the best. I mean, that's after his football career, because I really believe the guy's got a chance to play in the National Football League because he's fast, he's tough, and he's smart.
Got time for one more question?
Coach, you struggled to stop the outside run at times. Would you attribute that to the pursuit issues you were talking about earlier?
No, I would probably attribute it to the fact we're in a 3-down front. They blocked odd mug and they brought a guy around the edge, and we didn't do a good job handling that. We didn't strike blockers and get off. You got to do sometimes what you call open a can of whoop ass. We didn't do that.